Okay, you're all set up. I want to show you how the controls work when you come in. If you look right up here, this is the control panel. You won't have to mess with the slide in. That's for the slide, which is out right now, so you won't have to use that button whatsoever. However, there is an awning extend, so if you look outside, there is an awning up here, and if you hit the extend, it'll roll itself out. There's also, as you can see, a LED strip under there. The switch to the LED strip is this big button underneath of the cabinet. Click that on, and the lights are on. Okay, so if it gets windy, you're gonna have to pull the awning in. So there's just the retract button. If it gets too windy, you'll see it pulling the awning down, and that's your indicator to bring it in. There are lights, so you have an entry light, which is this guy here. You also have the living light, which is on right now, which are these lights in the ceiling. You have a curbside light as well, which is there. And I've got the water pump on, so there's water in the holding tank. In order to get the water to get to the faucets, there's a pump, so this is the power switch for that. We will also turn on the electric water heater. Now that will start to warm up the hot water, so you'll have hot water as well. There's about 20 gallons in there, so you have to be a little bit conservative about that. In the camper, plenty of room. You have a sink here underneath. I got it covered up right now because I wanted to show you the stove. The stove, pretty self-explanatory. You just turn it over to the light, hit this little spark button until it turns on. Okay. There's also a toaster oven that you guys can use. I recommend hooking that up to an extension cord, which I have, and plugging the extension cord into the power at the campground, not running it through the camper. Sometimes when you run extra accessories, such as these things, you'll trip a breaker. I'll show you that as well. So I would recommend, if you do want to use this, that if you're running the air conditioning the same time as this, or I also have an electric stove top that's out in the outdoor kitchen, using an extension cord and running it over to the power site. I'll show you that. Microwave, self-explanatory, works like just at home. You have a television here, TV remote is this bigger guy. It does play DVDs as well as the radio. This remote here will be your controls for playing the movie if you do watch one. There is a flashlight that's rechargeable here, as you guys can use that when it gets dark. Everything here, radio, it's got the power on off button. It has two sets of zones for speakers, an indoor and an outdoor. So you can run both of those, or you could just have one zone on either inside or outside. There's outside speakers. If you're trying to switch the function, you'll want to use this button here. You can Bluetooth into everything as well. So these buttons will allow you to switch between the radio, DVD, what have you. I don't think it's going to get so cold that you'll need to turn on the heater here, but there is a little furnace here. There's a power button. There's a timer if you want a timer. There's the temperature, which is F as in Fahrenheit, and then the 3 squiggly signs there are for the how fast you want the fan to blow. So if you turn the heat on, but if you just turn it on, you just get the picture. I don't think you'll need to put the heat on to it, but you can if need be. Master bedroom, all self-explanatory. The doors here closed are just kind of snapped in, and then you can pull those closed for privacy. So that's most of the electronic stuff, everything here. This couch folds out, turns into a bed, so that will fold out. This table will drop down and turn this into a bed as well. It's just this little yellow button here. You manipulate that, it will kind of fold down to the side. It won't just drop straight down, and then that drops down and sits on these little ledges here, turning this into a table. Freezer, refrigerator, that'll be on, ready for it to go. All ready to go. There's a little push button. You can see it kind of like locks in there. So you push that, open it up, and you're good to go. If for any reason the refrigerator seems like it's not cold enough, that may be because this sensor right here has slid down or has fallen down. This little sensor right here is where you set the temperature from warm to cold. So if you want it colder, you slide it up. Sometimes that thing falls down and you'll find it laying on the shelf. So if it's warm, check that. freezer has the same button. Okay, air conditioning and heat are all right here. Right now it's set on cool. Kind of hard to see with the lights lit up. You just press the mode button, it will go down to furnace. If you want to make it warmer, hit it one more time, it goes off. If you just want the fan to run, go to there. And then if you want the air conditioning on, go to here and just set the temperature that you want it to go to. So I'll leave it on for you guys so that way it's nice and chilly when you get here and not hot. There is a CO2 detector down here. There is a fire detector up here. So again, just to give you perspective, this is towards the back of the camper. Bathroom. These toilets are a little bit different than your household toilet. To flush it, there's a little foot pedal lever. So what you do, if you step on this foot pedal and just start to barely push it down, it'll spray water. Then when you're ready to flush, you push it all the way down and it opens it up and lets everything go down. Trick is with the camper, you have to use RV toilet paper. I've got some toilet paper down there for you. There's some extras, extra supply here in the camper as well. But the camper, you have to make sure you don't use big wads of toilet paper, minimal toilet paper, otherwise it will jam up, and lots of water. The toilet likes water. The more water, the merrier. It keeps everything from clogging up and getting stuck down there. So we've been having a little bit of a problem with people throwing wads of toilet paper down there, and when I look down there, there's just very large amounts of it. So minimal toilet paper, lots of water. That'll keep everything flowing good for you. Sink, shower. If you want to use the shower, there's a head for it up here. Same as a household, you just lift up. There's also a shutoff up here, so you can actually stop the water just from this. Okay. Bunks are in the back, lower, upper, and then one upper over here. There is a curtain here if you want to have privacy back here. If for any reason you do trip, some power goes off and things trip, there is a breaker box here with the switches. They should all be pointing towards the back of the camper. So if something shuts off, you just check that. You might hear some noises coming from the bottom of the bunk. That is because there's a water pump down here, and this is what pumps the water to the faucets, is this pump here, and it can be a little bit noisy at times. These lights here have their own power switch here and there, and I think that's about it for in here. You're probably going to have some questions. If so, just call me, text me, message me on RV Share, whatever the case may be. Outside, you won't really have to do much out here. Sorry, I got my dog down here setting up. The keys, we'll figure out where we're going to stash those here in a minute, and we'll lock everything up. There's an axe and a hammer in here and an extra extension cord in here. It just takes the round shiny key that will open that. There is an outlet here. Like I said, if you run a lot of power, you will trip a breaker if the air conditioning's on. There's an outdoor refrigerator. So that's all set up and ready to go for you. There are some grilling utensils in a box right there. There's an extra extension cord and an electric stovetop. If you do use the electric stovetop or a bunch of appliances, like I said, use the extension cord and hook up to the site power over here. Where I'm plugged in, there's an extra regular plug, a regular household plug. And you'll just go to that. Just make sure that it's on. Okay, it's on. Okay. You won't have to do with anything out here. This is just where I plugged in. You're all set up. You're ready to go. That's the hot water tank. You don't have to do anything with anything over here. But there is an outdoor shower. So if you come back and you're muddy and you need to get a shower and get cleaned up, you take one of the keys, open that up, and that's a shower as well. Do be careful. The water does get hot. If you need to put more water in here, this is the holding tank access. Just take a gallon of water, walk over to the faucet. There's a few faucets here. Fill it up and just open that up and put that in there. This is just there's a fire poking stick back here. There's a toolbox with some tools, and there is some hoses back here, just a few miscellaneous things. You shouldn't have to need anything there, but if you need the tools for something, feel free to use those. The water sites that I mentioned, the site has some. They are hard to see, but it's right there. You can get more water from there if need be. So, again, outdoor kitchen. You've got a sink here. Let me give you a full picture here. You got a sink there.